doing today? I don't know. I'm sure you were up late. I'm sure you were up till midnight. I was hoping that there would be an election outcome by midnight, but this race is so insanely close. I think we're still days away. We're days away from knowing who the next president is, and we do know that. Let's see, what was the percentage here? Let's find out. We do know that yes on 22 won pretty convincingly. The percentages, I believe it was 58%. Let me just check here. 22. There it is. 58.4. 58.4% said yes. And that's it. California has voted. We have to accept the outcome. Yes on 22 it is. Congratulations to all of those who voted yes on 22. And now we wait what happens to the money. And my predictions are January. In January, we're going to see some significant changes on the app. Mark my words, multiplier is gone. No more reason for them to put out the multiplier because they had to counter AB5. That they've won with their $200 million, so they don't have to have the multiplier anymore. Multiplier goes, and then the new rates kick in. They've already told us what the new rates are: 30 cents per mile and 120% of minimum California city wage based on engaged hours only. So my prediction is in January, yeah, everybody's going to keep their freedom, their flexibility. That wouldn't have changed, yes or no. Freedom, flexibility, you choose whichever platform you want to drive on, when you want to drive on. What would be the big difference here is the money. What are people going to earn in January? I don't think they're going to make the app changes, or they don't think they legally can make the app changes until this kicks into effect in January. But in January, they're ready. I'm sure somewhere, I don't know what the date is in January, but I'm sure they will switch back to not only the original app that they had pre-AB5, but obviously now they have their modifications. And then another forecast that I'm going to make is that once drivers like CEO Buddha see what he's going to be making, he's going to be looking for another job. That's my guess. QGS is in the house. Yong C is in the house. What's next? I told you what's next. Just wait for January for your new Uber app, your new California Uber app to come out, and for your new Uber and Lyft rates to come out. But meanwhile, massive race, very, very tight race, still in Nevada, Arizona, Georgia, North Carolina, Wisconsin was called, and Pennsylvania, neck on neck. But there's still many, many votes. That's just how it works. It's how it worked in 2016. It's how it worked in 2012. It's many votes to be counted after election. Military votes will take another week as well. Military has about 1 week by law to come in. So I spoke to a Marine in Afghanistan this morning who is going to be in LA early 2021 and who is starting his fleet. So I'm just helping him get ready. He saved up a lot of money while he was in Afghanistan. Nicest guy. And excited to help the guy. But here it is. No on 22, 58. I didn't think it would be that high. I thought it would be about 51%, but that's an overwhelming yes. Overwhelming yes. That's what California, that's what they wanted. They got it. And I think we're looking at about January before that all kicks in. Inland Empire Salvi's in the house. How are you, my brother? Roger Stryker, Biden won Arizona already. They called it. I know the Associated Press called it. I want to see if CNN called it. I know that Fox called it. Let's see if... No, CNN hasn't called it yet. Fox has called it and Associated Press has called it. CNN is still cautious. But my guess is Arizona will go into Biden's favor. Dustin is driving, says, what's up, Professor and everyone? I'm excited to see what happens now. Will Uber drop rates to make up some of that money they spent? Well, they spent, he's right, Dustin knows, they spent big bucks, right? And they're not doing well. I mean, the rideshare market is not there where they want it yet. It's still pandemic times. They're making money on Uber Eats. They're making money, little money. I'd say they have about 30% of their rideshare market across the board, across the US. So, but what I've heard from people now that they have the yes, I mean, they don't have to abide by AB5. They don't have to run the multiplier anymore. And come January, they will switch to the new app with those rates. And I hope that people can stay afloat, survive. Dustin is driving, says, I personally would have voted no, as if Uber Lyft want it. It can't be that good for drivers, but thankfully not my state. That's right. So yesterday, I had a very, very interesting run-in, still a little bit shook up, but I got off the highway. There was a massive, massive Trump caravan with trucks, flags flying. And strangely enough, there were several Illinois and Indiana number plates, which I thought, that's strange. That's very strange. And they were there blocking, they were in the center road blocking the traffic. And I'll tell you what happened. I happened to have my mask on. I left my mask on in my car, right? I left my mask on because I just came from Calabasas. And in Calabasas, you get a $400 fine if you found in the open and you're not wearing a mask. So I forgot that I had my mask on in the car, had my window open. The light was red. All these trucks were on my side. And these guys come right up to my window, right up with their truck, with the F-150, with their flags, and 2 cars in tow. And the guy goes, I don't know what number plate it is because the guy's right next to me, like this. And the guy goes, hey, pussy, put on your fucking mask, you pussy. And I said, dude, I don't know where you're coming from, but here in California, we wear a mask. I have kids, and that's the way it fucking is. Accept it. The guy lost his fucking marbles. He lost his marbles. Cut in front of me, hit the brakes. I had to hit the brakes, try to get around him. And then these two trucks were on my ass. I thought, okay, it's time to fucking brawl. And I was ready. I was so fucking angry. I don't even want to tell you how angry I was, right? So I grabbed my crutch. And I took the rubber part off because I thought, fuck, that's all I have is this crutch. And if it have to, this thing is going to go through some guy's stomach just now, right? So I pulled the rubber off. I've got the crutch in the side because I thought these guys were going to jump me. So they pull up to the light. I'm at the red light. Guy gets, get out the car, pussy. Get out the car, pussy. Me. I don't care if there's one in one car or two. I don't mind getting fucked up. I've been fucked up many a times, but I have my ways, ladies and gentlemen. You should know that, right? I get out the car on my crutches. These guys are looking at me. I walk up to the guy's window. No jokes. I walk up to the guy's window, and I remember I have the one down, so it's not easy to stand, right? Can't see this. Couldn't see this crutch. And I'm standing there, and he goes, what are you going to do, old man, on your crutches or invalid? Put on your mask, pussy. And I said, get out the fucking car, boy. Get out the car. I said, how old are you? I said, you're about 30 years old. I said, have you ever been fucking knocked out by a 50-year-old? Get out the car. So the guy would not get out the car. Big talk. Pulls a knife. 1 foot. Black knife. Black handle. Black pull. and swipes out at me. He didn't want to get me with a knife. It was like a blowhard. I know when a guy is serious with a knife, and I know when a guy is not serious. It was like a warning, back off, right? Trying to intimidate me. And then I thought, really? Okay. So now I said, is that how you roll? So I went to the back of your car, and the guy couldn't get out of the way because I'd parked him in. He'd been parked in, and his buddy was behind it, right? So I say, you from Illinois? It's from Illinois. I said, I got your number plate, shred. I said, I'll follow up with it. The guy gets out of the traffic, does a U-turn, comes up to my side, leaning out the window. Leaning out the window with the knife, swipes at me. I take the crutch. I swipe out at him. I'm standing, right? I'm holding my balance and one. Swipe out with the crutch like this while he's driving past. He pulls back into the car. 2 cops pull up. 2 cops pull up. I said, what the fuck is going on? What's going on here? You're holding up the traffic. And I said, that motherfucker just drew a knife at me. I said, one of you guys chase him down, right? Another Trump truck pulls up and says, I saw that. That is wrong. It was a California number plate. He said, that is wrong. That's not who we are. And I said to the guy, I said, I know that's not who you are. I said, this is some thug from out of state with an Illinois number plate, shred, S-H-R-E-D, trying to cause shit here, trying to stir it up. And I said, I know that Trump supporters are not like that in California. I cannot vouch for other states, but I know. And the Trump supporter apologized to me and said, I'm so sorry. Had a truck full of guys and girls. They were out there to support, as they should. They have the right to support whoever they want. And I support any rally, peaceful rally that takes place. Go out there, support your guy. I'm cool with that. But that crossed the line. I was in kill mode. I said to the cop, you better get this guy. You better get this guy because otherwise I'm going to get it. And he said, no, that's a threat. And I said, I will get it because I've got his number plate. Got a lot of cops that I know in LA. I'll run his number plate. I will get his address very quickly because that was wrong. That was wrong behavior. I think I took the guy by surprise because I didn't back down. I got out of my car with the crutches and I was ready. And like I said, I had one on, one off, right? And I was ready to stick that through his stomach had he tried anything, if he pulled a gun or anything like that. But it's not pretty. That's not how it's supposed to be, right? And for weeks they were protesting peacefully. Everything was fine, honking their horns, flags. You're completely entitled to that. I don't care whose flag you have on the back of your car. You can have a Biden plan, a Biden flag. You can have a Trump flag. You can honk your horns. You can make videos, gather. Good for you. That is your freedom and your right. But to brandish arms and to take a swipe with a 1-foot black knife, this big, at me, while I'm at the traffic light, and then a U-turn driving right up to me and just leaning out the window, had I not thought quickly and swung that, I wanted to hit the guy in the face. I wanted to hit him because he was leaning out. I wanted to drive this thing through the guy's face as hard as possible. He pulls in and he keeps on driving. And I think the reason why he took off, because he sped off, because 2 cops came, one on a bike, one on a car. Well, I spoke to the cops, gave them all the details. The California truck behind me, who was a witness to this, gave their statement, right? Bam Bam is all upset and bent out of shape. Bye, Bam Bam. So the guy behind me gave his, what he saw, and again apologized and said, that's not who we are. And we actually got on fine. I got on fine with the cops. The cops were cool. We're talking to several Trump supporters, talking to the cops, and we're having a really, really good conversation, right? That was it. Now back to Proposition 22, not to go too far off track. I know it's a little bit uncomfortable for Scott because he wants to go back to yes on 22, but this was a resounding victory for yes on 22. Most of the people said, oh, they're going to win by a 51% margin. They're going to win maximum 52% margin. No, they won by a resounding 58.4. That's what California wants. That's what the drivers want. So shall it be, right? And we're going to see what's going to happen in January, because the app, the modifications that they made in 2020 during the pandemic were to counter AB5. They can pull that app and make it exactly the same as Florida, exactly the same as Nevada. They'll have the same app running again. The only thing that's going to be different now is their hybrid, their third way, which is now 30 cents and 120% of minimum California city wage for engaged drivers only, and engaged hours only. My guess, this is just my guess, I could be wrong. When I do the math, that doesn't equate to money. And when you're putting in the hours and it doesn't equate to money for a driver, they move on. They move on to the next thing. Dennis Torres is in the house. Long Beach, good to see you, my friend. Scott Tucker, how are you doing? Halil Kuroglu. Yeah, I mean, ended up in jail? No. I mean, I'm not stupid. I'm not going to be the first one to pull the punches or to use a weapon. I wouldn't do that. I'm protecting my own turf, right? But there were witnesses there. They saw it, and I knew I was on the right. So I wasn't worried that I was on the wrong side of the law. I knew I was on the right side of the law. Tim Olson says, I voted no, but pretty much knew that most of California would vote yes due to Uber's deceptive. Yeah, the TV ads, I think, did it. The TV ads brought the victory home for them. I mean, you guys switch on the TV, doesn't matter which station, CNN, Fox, MSNBC, the yes on 22 ads were running everywhere. They were running everywhere. Omar's in the house. How do you think this will benefit it or not benefit us? The black drivers, SUV black drivers, I think, I don't think it's going to, I think the rates are going to change for the SUV black drivers if you don't have your TCP. There's a lot of SUV black drivers from the past that are grandfathered in. There's a lot of SUV black drivers that joined in LA, and the only reason why they got to join is because they had their TCP. If you have your TCP, I think you're good, right? And if you have your TCP, you should be recruiting private clients left, right, and center. So I would say in that category, you're good. I do see problems for the people that were completely spoiled by the multiplier, big weeks with the multiplier, right? I think a rude awakening is going to come. That's going to be gone. And I think the second big rude awakening that's going to happen in January is you're just not going to make money. And believe me when I say Uber and Lyft need money now, right? Now their stock did pretty well. They did pretty well today. Why? Because the news broke the victory of Proposition 22, the most expensive initiative in the state's history, could help gig companies remake labor laws throughout the country. Now the thing we have to worry about is we have to watch this play out in January in California. What type of monies are drivers going to be making? And then because they got this victory, they're going to bring the battles to the other states. They're going to bring this battle to Florida. They're going to bring this. They feel very empowered now, Uber and Lyft, right? And I'm sure that many people that voted yes on 22 feel equally empowered, many drivers. That's fine. I just want to see your earnings in January. Warren Francis says Uber's a waste of time. Delivery apps and grocery apps are where the money is. The bigger the bag, the higher the tip. Cherry pick a life. Good. I love that. Look at it. Just says it plain and simple. That's not where the money is. This is where the money is, and I know how to make money here. Fantastic. And guess what? Warren has his groceries in the car. He doesn't have to worry about any guy sniffing or coughing or anything like that, right? He knows how to make money in that delivery app and the grocery app world. He knows how to cherry pick the best deliveries, and he's making money. Just that statement makes me happy. Anybody has figured out a way, right? I have to, one of my clients, they always ask me about all the political updates, so I want to give them an update on the, I think 2 states must have just been called in this live feed. They must have called Arizona, and maybe they called Nevada. I'm not, sorry, I'm really into this, so I got to, yes, no, they haven't called Nevada. Oh, they called Michigan. They called Michigan. Hello? They called Michigan. They called Michigan for Biden, so it's getting close. As far as total electoral votes go, right now we are we're on 253 to 213. 253 to 213. Johnny B. Good says, now that they considered us independent contractors, don't they get to pay us for mileage of when and where we accept the trip, all of the way till we complete the trip? We should go after them for that. No, what I mean, look, here's the thing. You're not an independent contractor. You told you're independent. The independence that you have is that you have the freedom to drive when you want, and you have the freedom to drive with whom you want. You are not an independent contractor. Independent contractors set their own rates. You don't set your own rates, right? You set your own rates. So you're not, they tell you you're an independent contractor, but you're not an independent contractor. You're sort of this like half breed of IC, right? And they will be paying you. Yes, they'll be paying you for the miles, for the trips that you've clocked up, of course, right? On UberX, they use the Los Angeles example, 30 cents per mile. And they also use the LA example of minimum wage in LA being $13. They'll pay 120% of $13, which equates to about $15 minimum per hour, but only for engaged trips. So if you're looking at a typical hour, you have obviously minutes that you're on a trip, engaged trips where you're driving a rider, you're only getting paid for that. You're not getting paid for the downtime. So let's hypothetically say in a 5-hour shift, you're doing 3 hours of hardcore driving. You'd get paid for those 3 hours, not for the full 5 hours. So I'm telling you, it's going to boil, just like these elections are boiling down to the math, down to the votes. The same way it's going to happen with yes on 22 in January. It's going to boil down to the math. What am I making under yes on 22? Does that make sense? CENTS, and does it make sense? SENSE, right? If it makes sense and sense, I keep on driving. I'm still making money. If it doesn't make sense, and if it doesn't make sense, I go and find myself another job. And we spoke to Warren. He told us exactly, completely waste of time, no money there, went over to deliveries and groceries. You know, so I just want us to be careful with this word independent contractor, right? If you want to know what an independent contractor is, I'll gladly show you that on the site, because it involves a few things, ladies and gentlemen. It involves getting your vehicle registered commercially. It involves getting your vehicle commercial insurance. It involves getting your vehicle weighed by a weighing station. It involves applying in California for the TCP license, $1,200. It involves setting up an LLC, or S corporation, as you run yourself as a company. And then it involves you recruiting drivers and setting your rates. Will they accept your rates? That is what a true independent, the closest you will ever be to an independent contractor, is a limo driver who has his own license, his own car, pays for his own commercial insurance, and has his own clientele, 5 clients, 10 clients, 50 clients. I've probably over 90 clients today as it stands, right? And because I dictate my rates, they don't have to accept my rates, but when they do, I'm in control and I'm independent. I'm setting my rates. They accept, I drive them. It's like a contract. That's what an independent contract. I teach that at Rideshare Driving School. I would also ask everyone that has not filled out that survey, please. I'm doing a survey about Uber's customer service, which I believe is poor. I want to get over at least 100 people. I'm very close in that survey so that I can give true representative accurate readings on that survey. And then I want to publish that through press releases. I use Cision press releases. I'll get it on Yahoo, Yahoo Finance, MarketWatch. I want to post those driver customer service results of Uber. If people think it's great, if they think that customer service works, blah, 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 it's all in that survey. I put that survey down. I know that a lot of you have taken it, and I really appreciate that. Right, Nathaniel Davis is in the house. He says, we've had the worst combination by them for president in 22 past. How worse can life get for us drivers? I think it's going to get worse in January. Not right now, but when they have to, when they switch over, and they have the power to do that now with Yes on 22, they don't have to follow California. They don't have to follow AB5. This victory, and it was a resounding victory, right, entitles them now to run it the way they want to. They're entitled to set it up the way they want to, right? Nicole's going great. Thank you very much. Scott says, looks like I need to move out of Nevada for that private driver to happen. No, I think Nevada is fantastic for private drivers. I think Nevada is a recruiting ground. If you would just go out and get your licensing in order there, I think there's money, because there's a lot of people that return over and over and over again to Vegas, right? I'm not so sure about Reno, but I'll tell you what, not so sure about Henderson, but in Las Vegas, a lot of people go at least once or twice a year. If you've built that relationship, they will let you know, hey, I'm flying in on Friday night, pick me up at the airport, drop me off at the hotel, and then I'll need you to drive us around on Saturday and Sunday night, right? And you charge them accordingly. Warren, how's it going there, buddy? Hope you're well. What city are you driving in, Warren? Hubert goes, I just took the survey. Hubert, I appreciate you. Thank you for doing that. Scott says, well, the CPCN license is very expensive in Nevada, $100K. Is that to start your own limo company? That's ridiculous. I hope we're not talking past each other here. I'm talking about a basic limo license. If that's the case, that's ridiculous. I mean, that means they're favoring the taxi industry and protecting their taxi industry, right? I mean, if that it truly costs $100,000, I know that in New York, pretty straightforward. You know, taxi drivers, yes, they paid a lot of money for their medallions, but the equivalent of TCP in New York, the TNC, you know, they pay about the same as California, $1,200-1,500. That sounds ridiculous that Nevada charges that. And as Scott says, yes, it favors the taxis. So that's what I think is happening there. They're protecting, you know, that group of politicians who's ever running the show is protecting the Nevada taxi associations. California voters carried Uber and Lyft to victory, overwhelmingly approving Proposition 22. Well done. A ballot measure that allows gig economy companies to continue treating drivers as independent contractors. Uber, Lyft, and the delivery service DoorDash designed the measure to exempt the companies from a state labor law that would have forced them to employ drivers and pay for healthcare, unemployment insurance, and other benefits. As a concession to labor advocates, the initiative offers a wage floor and limited benefits to drivers. A wage floor and limited benefits to drivers. Enjoy those in January. The Associated Press projected early Wednesday that Prop 22 had carried 58% of the vote. Proposition 22 faced the strongest opposition in San Francisco, where Uber and Lyft have their headquarters with more than a 19-point deficit. So they were not doing well in San Francisco. They probably picked up these votes in Fresno, Bakersfield, Orange County, San Diego, LA, Palm Springs, Monterey. But San Francisco, it sounds like the voters said, nah. They said, you know what, we see through these gig companies. These gig companies are exploiting the drivers. It all originated in San Francisco. Very, very interesting that they didn't do very well at all. They had a 19-point deficit in San Francisco. The vote resolves the fiercest regulatory battle that Uber and Lyft have faced and opens a path for the companies to remake labor laws throughout the country, right? A path for the companies to remake labor laws throughout the country. Nevada, it's coming to you. Florida, yes, on 22, the equivalent is coming to you. And Utah, Arizona, the equivalent of yes on 22 is coming to you, because it opened up, as I said, I've always said, it's going to open up the path. They're going to feel very empowered, and then they're going to start moving those regulations into other states. And what every driver in outside states of California wants to do is have a conversation with drivers in January. Hey, how are you guys doing in January? Are you making money in January? And that will be a great indicator for people like Scott, for Robin, who are driving in other states, right? Stay in touch with those Cali people and find, and of course, I'll be making videos. People will be making videos here. How will we be doing? How will we be faring under yes on 22 in January 2021? That should really concern and interest all states. Yesterday, I did a great live feed with New York, extremely passionate about their battle there. They took Uber on. They did very well in New York. We didn't do as well in California with no on 22. But there's two completely different set of rules, what New Yorkers and Californians have to go through. And we had a great dialogue. In fact, there was one driver who called in from a car. He was so passionate. And then they had another guy, Georgie, from New York. Good guys fighting the battle and standing up for the drivers. Loki the Mechanist, I like that. You know, when I read Loki the Mechanist, I think of Floki from the Vikings. Loki the Mechanics and Floki of the Vikings. How are you? Jimmy's in the house. True, but it might take them a while, he says to IQ Boy. IQ Boy says, even the schmucks will learn when they're not making money. Listen, when you're not making money, Monday to Monday, and like, geez, like this week was bad. What happened? Oh, crap, I don't have the multiplier. Oh, crap, the new rates have kicked in. That's when you compare apples and oranges, my friend. Can I make this work? Can I pay for my car? Can I put food on the table? Will I be able to pay the rent with these new rates? We shall see in January. I'm super curious, super curious what numbers were going to be shared with me in form of screenshots, right? Because it's certainly people like Paul Figueroa, hard workers, Thomas, sending me their numbers from San Diego, great numbers made under the multiplier. And again, shout out to the Marines in Afghanistan. I had a conversation with a couple of Marines over there. We did a little conference call. I want to help them set up their businesses in Dallas and here in California when they come out. They're going to be there's a couple of people working together, and they're going to be starting a limo company. And I'm like, I will share everything with you. You know, I owe it to you guys. You guys have protected this country. You guys went and sacrificed your lives. The least I can do for you is offer you my time and dedication in return and help you set up the business and teach you all the do's and don'ts of this limousine business. And I look forward helping these noble warriors, these Marines over in Afghanistan. God bless them. Robin Rena says Congress will be getting involved. You can count on it, absolutely. Robin says the real fight is now just beginning. Yeah, I don't think that California is going to roll over. I don't think that Javier Becerra is going to roll over and say, yo, you guys beat us. No, they're going to keep on fighting. They're going to elevate this to the higher courts. I mean, this is going to the California, the highest court, right? And had Uber or Lyft lost, they would have elevated to the highest court. This is not over, but as of January, Uber is going to say, you know what? We don't have to comply with your laws. We can do it our way. That's it. We got yes on 22. Was written what our proposal is. Here we go, 30 cents per mile and blah, blah, blah. And watch. At that moment, all I say is drivers, pay attention, study your figures, do the math, right? Do the math. Do the math. Martha Hoffman, good to see you. Tim Olson, good to see you. It's Moose, good to see you. Bam Bam, I kicked out of the room. Was a little cocky. Halil is doing well. And everybody else, I hope your post-election day, November the 4th, I was up all night. I was hoping to see some decisive victory. That's where it's stuck at the moment. That is where it's stuck. Right now, truthfully, the path to 270 looks better for Biden. Trump now initiating all the lawsuits, recounts, you know, sort of a typical game they play. We saw that back in the day between Al Gore and Bush. The battle in Florida went all the way up to the Supreme Court. We shall see. We still don't know, and I don't think we will know for a while, who the real winner is. Texas is Scott. I love Texas. I lived in Austin for a short while, 6 months, and I lived in Houston, Texas, down by the Galleria on Bering for 2.5 years. Love the Texans, love the city. Not the most exciting city in the world. I've lived in more exciting cities than Houston, Texas, but the people are rock solid. One thing I can tell you about Texans, they legit. It's real, right? They bring the heart. They'll bring the fight. They stand for their values. I respect that, right? I respect that. Although Texas this time was a very, very close race. I don't think Texas almost went blue, didn't quite go blue, right? But it was the closest the Democrats ever got in Texas was this election, right? Senator Cornyn in Texas got reelected. Susan Collins in Maine, they thought they would topple her. She got reelected. Senator Lindsey Graham, he got reelected. Hickenlooper took a surprise. He took the Colorado Senate. So the Democrats picked up a few Senate seats, but not enough to have the majority. The majority of the US Senate will still be held by the Republicans. The majority of the House will still be held by the Democrats. In the Senate, you have 2 independents, right? And if you add the 2 independents that usually vote with the Democrats, you pretty much have a 47-47 tie in the Senate right now. And who can decide the swing vote? The vice president? Now, it all depends. Will it be Vice President Kamala Harris, or will it still be Vice President Pence, right? Who's going to swing the vote in a 47-47 race? Is it going to be Kamala this time, or will it still be Pence, as he's done in many, many other votes and given them the final vote? It's interesting. Politics is interesting. Robin says, Scott, take the state of Nevada with you. Listen, Nevada, did not treat the drivers well in this whole PUA game. Remember what you guys had to go through in Nevada to get your money? It was wrong. It was wrong. Everybody was getting paid. Everybody was able to pay their bills. And the Nevada crowd had to sweat it out. The money, remember how hard you guys had to fight for that? Right? Robin says one of my best bosses was from West Texas. His name was R.V. Kelly. Good man. And I'll add to that, Robin, one of my best friends, one of my top 3 friends I've known for 26 years, is a senator, was a senator for 24 years in Texas. He's now the commissioner of Houston, Texas. So real good people, real good people. Warren Francis's 1st Tank Battalion, Delta Company, beautiful. Salute you guys. It's amazing. I've only driven in South Africa in a tank once. Their tanks were okay, but I could not even imagine, like, wow, you're part of a tank battalion. You drive a tank. What was the role? Those are monstrous beasts. Those tanks, monstrous. I know the Russians have good tanks. I know the Americans have good tanks, and I know the Germans have got really good tanks. Good tank manufacturers. So we salute the 1st Tank Battalion Delta Company. That's fantastic. And all I can say is I enjoyed those 2 hours this morning that I had with those guys on base in Afghanistan. I had a couple of guys that are finishing up in February, coming to Dallas, coming to California to start their business. It's only fair. I dedicate my time. They dedicated their time. IQ Boy says, Texas, I was there 2 times. I had bad experiences. Sorry to hear that. I've had, I only think I've had 1 or 2 bad experiences in Texas. Just 1 or 2. I think I almost got into a fight with someone, but that was all. And I think that was at a really good restaurant. I almost got into a fight because the guy was very disrespectful and hit on the girl that I was dating, this hot little Texan girl. And I told him, hey, just mind your space. The lady doesn't want to. So I set the bound. The guy didn't like that. A couple of guys surrounded me, tried to intimidate me on the way out when I went with the lady to the car, tried to catch me outside. Not happening. Moose, there will be more cases than the Dynamics case being used in round 2. Only 2 rounds needed for a TKO. I like that. Only 2 rounds. You've got to put 2 gloves there because sometimes it takes 2 gloves for a TKO, Robin. Put a 2nd glove there. Scott says, I love living the Southern lifestyle. I lived in Alabama and Florida before. I don't really know the Alabama and Florida lifestyle. I've been there to both. I visited Florida. I visited Alabama. I've never lived there. I find it too humid. I did thoroughly enjoy Texas. Had a good time there. I also got to say I'm very happy in California. And California, you can have a good life if you have the money. If you are struggling in California, you don't have the money, I think it's a pretty hard game. But if you've got the money, the lifestyle, the vacations, the kids, the homes, why not? It's a great state. Always good weather. Hardly ever rains. Alex S. So now what happened next? What's Uber's plan for the drivers? Uber's plan for the drivers, my prediction, this kicks into effect in January. Quick changes in January. They get to implement their new platform the way they fought for it because they won. Remember, they got a resounding 58% here. So what happens then is that you're dealing with completely new math. Right, you're going to be dealing with completely new ways. The miles are evaluated and your time is evaluated. And if you do enough hours, you can pay a little bit into the health. You're going to do 25 engaged hours per week in order for money to be paid into your health system. Hey, what happened?
I'm okay.
Jeez, like, take it easy. What happened?
I fell.
Jeez, like. Sound bad. Okay. I have my tent ready in California. I'll let you come and camp in my big backyard, yeah, IQ boy. You can set up a double tent. Mohammed Khalil's in the house. In summertime, Michigan has better weather than a ton of states except California, less humid. I'm sure Michigan is beautiful during the summertime. It gets too hot here. I mean, Nevada knows, Arizona knows how hot it is during the summer. It's hotter there than it is here in California, but you're talking temperatures over 100 most of the days. Timothy says, do you know why Cova needs to link to your Uber and Lyft account? Yeah, I mean, that is a legitimate link up, right? Because what they have to do is if something happens, they have to verify your earnings. Because when they pay out based on your average earnings. You can't just tell them, oh, well, you know what, I made this number. They get the proof from Uber and Lyft. They have an API, they can link straight in, see the numbers. Okay, this guy just got into an injury. This guy just got into an accident, right? Talking about Cova briefly, just shout out here for Cova. So now, if you do end up in the hospital, or if your car does end up in the body shop, Cova needs to know, what are you losing? What are you losing on lost wages? Because they have to calculate that based on what the app tells them and then pay you out 80%. That's how it goes. Another way they need to also verify, you go in there and say, hey, hang on, I got deactivated. So they need to know from Uber, they have to be dialed in, and is the guy deactivated? Why was he deactivated? Was it a wrongful termination? If so, oh, hang on, we have a partner called Legal Rideshare, right? They deal with the deactivation for us at Cova, and Cova has retained Legal Rideshare to write the letters for its members, demanding that the gig companies promptly reactivate your account. That's the gold right there, right? And then also, God forbid, hope this never happens. Hope you never get into a car accident or an injury or your car gets totaled. But if it's more serious and it's a really, really serious accident, right? I mean, Legal Rideshare will go after far, far higher wage losses than Cova can. So I'm just trying to refresh that page there. I wanted to read you their services. But yes, on 21, they won fair and square, right? No denying it. Those guys won the battle, the $200 million battle, right? No doubt about it. 58% is a straight out victory. There's no other way to look at it, right? And now the question is, what are drivers going to be making in January? Injury, property damage, wage loss, they go and handle your insurance claim. Now, the article says the vote resolves the fiercest regulatory battle that Uber and Lyft have faced and opens a path for the companies to remake labor laws throughout the country. The fight pit labor groups and state lawmakers against ride-hailing and delivery startups that spend $200 million in support of the measure. In voting to support Uber and Lyft, Californians rejected the principles outlined in a 2018 state Supreme Court ruling and enshrined in a 2019 state law that said workers who perform tasks within the company's regular business and were controlled by the company and did not operate their own firms must be treated as employees. Under Proposition 22, gig workers are exempted from these rules and can continue to work independently. Yes, they can continue to have their freedom and work independently, but what will they be making? And another thing you need to know, if you filed your lawsuits prior to yesterday, you're good, right? Your claim is good. If you're claiming for 2 or 3 years of misclassification, don't worry. Just because they won now, it doesn't wipe out your current existing lawsuit, right? I'm right in the middle of 4 lawsuits, 2 against Uber, 2 against Lyft, all going on right now in the discovery phase. They didn't get wiped out. because of this Proposition 22 passing. The Yes on Proposition 22 campaign, backed by Uber, Lyft, and DoorDash, celebrated victory. California has spoken. A spokesman for the campaign said in a news release, Proposition 22 represents the future of work in an increasingly technologically driven economy. On Wednesday morning, executives at Lyft and DoorDash praised the outcome. Uber stock rallied almost 3% on Tuesday as polls suggested Prop 22 was likely to pass. Lyft stock was also up 7%. Well, I think Uber stock went up quite a bit. Let's just find out. What happened to Uber stock? If you look at the graph right at the end, it took a good jump up, and it's on $40.99. That's a remarkable jump from yesterday at 35 bucks. It went up $6 one day, 24 hours. So just that, what that Yes on 22 did to their stock value. Just think about that. How many millions started flowing in because people said, okay, you're out of the tough race, you won, maybe we buy in now. The next thing, and maybe it's going to dip back down a little bit. Obviously, they have to release the next quarterly earnings, which are obviously not good because of the pandemic. So who knows if it will go beyond the 40s or will it back down again into the 30s. It's always been hovering there, mid-30s. I like it. Robin's got both gloves up. I didn't have any gloves yesterday when that guy brandished a nice 1-foot knife. All I had was my crutches. And I'm sure those crutches would hurt if they connect with your body or with your face, right? But Muhammad Khalil, the result of Prop was in the headlines on BBCW. I did see, and it didn't see any result on American News Network. Well, here, if you want the results, they're here. They're on Cal Matters, CalMatters, Cal, like California, matters.org. All of the results of all the propositions, let me go through them. I don't know how you guys voted, but Proposition 14 got 51% yes. Proposition 14 got a yes. Okay, so I win on that one. Put money on that. Proposition 15 got a no. I lose on that one. Proposition 16 also got a no. Lose on that one as well. Not doing very well. And these are, by the way, these are all the propositions funded by the company. So sounds like the company's really got their ways. Proposition 17 was a yes. I got that one. Proposition 18 was a no. Didn't get that one. Proposition 19 was a yes. Got that one. Proposition 20, I said no, and it was a resounding no. That's good news. Proposition 21, which was on rent control, was a resounding no. I voted yes. Proposition 22, gig worker, the big one, resounding yes. I voted no. Not doing too good here, Torsten, but half-half. Proposition 23 got a no. Proposition 24 got a yes. And Proposition 25 got a no. So the companies won that battle in California. Obviously, all these companies, whatever ballot proposition they put on the ballot, they flooded the market with the ads, the TV ads. What happened? Knife versus crutches. Cops are handling it. I mean, I was not the aggressor. I did not pull out. I did not pull out the weapon. The attack was initiated by a guy in a truck. So good luck to him. I mean, unless he bails out and leaves for Illinois, the cops have his number plate, and the guy apparently was written up twice that week for intimidating people. So they knew him. They said it was an out-of-towner who came into California from Illinois, to fire up the base here. They knew of the guy. My story just added to another one of their stories. But with crutches, I did not back down. In fact, was extremely ready. Not going to take that shit. Yesterday afternoon, at a red light, I was lined up with a lot of those massive trucks. They had, and you know what? I don't care if you have Trump flags or Biden flags. Go and do a peaceful rally. Go and peacefully do your thing. But if you want to get ugly, if you want to bring thugs and goons in from other states to intimidate people, to threaten people with knives, I happen to have a mask on. That's what set the guy off. He went ballistic. He was up my ass with his truck, with his F-150. I was in my Cadillac. He had another Tacoma behind him, both of them, up, trying to intimidate me. I'm not going to get intimidated by two cars, right? Now, looking back, could not see the number plate because the guy didn't have a number plate. The Illinois number plate and the guy behind him, they were out-of-towners. Their number plates were at the back. The cops got those number plates. I took photos of the number plates, but they took off. And then the police interviewed a couple of other really nice people. And I'm not being sarcastic. They would just said, that's not us. We don't roll like it. It was the California Trump supporters. They said that doesn't represent us in our state. That's not who we are. We're not here to threaten to, the guy heard it. The guy behind heard it. The guy said, I'm going to cut your throat off. I said, good luck. I said, I'll ram this crutch through your stomach, out the other side. Good luck. Get out the car. Would not get out the car with his knife. Just kept on waving his knife in the car. Said, get out the fucking car. I got out the car with the crutches. I don't care if there's 2 or 3 people. I'll be on crutches. I don't care. I'll go down. That's just who I am. That's how I was raised. That's my crazy rugby blood in me. But I will brawl till the very end. But this coward took off. He took off, and you know what? Let the police, that's their job. Let them handle that. Yeah. I didn't even flip the bird. I didn't even give them, it was not confrontational at all. My big setback is that I'm right next to these big trucks, and I had my mask on because I was coming from Calabasas, and in Calabasas, you don't wear your mask, $400 fine. So I had left my mask, and they're like, what the fuck, you pussy? Why do you have to have your mask on? I'm like, and the accent was not Californian. And I said, something's wrong here. I said, who the fuck are you to tell me to wear a mask or not? Who the fuck are you? And that set him off into road rage. I mean, they were on me like in the traffic. I'm like, okay. I'm like, I'm at the light. I get out the car. I got at the car. What's your guys' problems? And that's when the guys cut your throat. Really? Get out the car. Get out the car. I'm very in your face. That's what people don't understand. I mean it when I'm bringing it to you. I could see maybe he was a blowhard. He had a knife. He's going to think like, okay, the knife's going to intimidate you. You're going to back away. You're going to get scared. You're going to run away. You're going to go back in your car. I'm like, get out the fucking car now. I'm on crutches. And the guy says, I don't want to fucking hurt you, cripple. I said, you can try and hurt a cripple. But I'm on crutches here. I got my cast and I got my crutches. Get out the car. Guy would not get out the car. And the other cars right at the back saw that happen, and they gave the report. They told the cops, this guy did not back down from them and went. But what counted in my favor is that they brandished a knife first, and the comments were heard loud and clear because they leaning out the car with a knife says, I'll cut your throat. Now, people were hearing that. That intimidates a lot of people. Where I come from, that doesn't intimidate me, right? If a guy pulls a gun on me, yeah, I'll back off. I'm not going to fucking engage with a gun. But if I think I have a good chance with a crutch and here's a knife, I have a longer weapon, come, get out the car. It was fun. it was fun, and the police were riding away, and we've had issues with this guy. We've had run-ins with this guy during the week. We know who you're talking about. And they knew there were a whole bunch of out-of-towners from Illinois, and I think it was Indiana. Don't want to say anything wrong. Definitely a couple of Illinois cars that came down here to mix it up in this area, right? Maybe they sent their people in to strategically mix it up. Just be peaceful, man. Demonstrate peace. I mean, not demonstrate peacefully. Do your rallies peacefully. I think everything else went really, really well throughout the country. There was no voter intimidation. I didn't see that as voter intimidation. I just saw that as an act of aggression. But it went really smoothly in all 50 states. It went really smoothly yesterday. Now all we have to do, just as we did in 2016, just as we did in 2012, just as we did in 2008, just as we did in 2004, you got to count your votes. Some are military ballots that come in late. Some, you got your mailed-in ballots. I mean, this is how it goes. You count the votes. You count all the districts, all the votes, right? And you have your closing times. I think Friday maybe is a deadline for Pennsylvania. I'm not sure. But they're coming in. They're coming in, the votes. Chicago's in the house. Francis, if you're out there in Illinois, find this number plate for me. What's the number plate? I wrote down shred. You find this number plate for me. Illinois number plate. Yeah, I got a police report from the local police station here. Ivan says, super pissed they got the yes vote. Look, they won the yes vote fair and square. Money can buy you love. $200 million can buy you a lot of love at the ballot box, at the voting booth. Right? That I found out yesterday, that $200 million can buy you a lot of love at the ballot box. Yeah, that's the number plate, shred. That's the guy I'm looking for. But I'm not going to look for him, the cops. I'm not going to be the hero. Let the cops do it. That's it. As long as they have a word with him and say, listen, that's not cool. Right? Because he was a blowhard. You could say, I think the number plate shred was probably, the guy was really, really buff. I knew I was dealing with a little testosterone boy with probably use a lot of, what do you call it, juice? What is that stuff that they inject? Steroids. Because he was way too aggressive. He was a big blowhard, way too aggressive, very chiseled. I guess that's why his number plate was shred. I'll let the cops deal with him. I'm not going to deal with these thugs. Yes on Prop 22 campaign backed by Uber, Lyft, and DoorDash celebrated their victory. I'm sure they partied with champagne, caviar, lobster. I am sure they spent $200,000 on party balloons yesterday, right? Or this morning. They were happy. California has spoken, they said. Prop 22 represents the future of work in an increasingly technologically driven economy. So Uber stock went up, Lyft stock went up. Uber's chief executive, Dara Khosrowshahi, my good friend, thanked drivers for the win in a late night email. The future of independent work is more secure because so many drivers like you spoke up, he wrote. He said Uber would make the new benefits promised by Prop 22 available as soon as possible. As soon as possible, I think, means I would have, in an empire, I would have loved to have, Salvi, I would have loved to have, if you'd been there with your team, you're not going to take any nonsense. I know who you are. I know what your team does and what they stand for. You wouldn't have stood for that. You put thugs like that in place. But, I was outnumbered. I was just one guy. I can sort of thank my lucky stars that the cops were there very, very quickly. I don't know what would have happened. I don't think these guys would have done any physical harm with a knife or anything. But, it's not cool when people brandish weapons and make threatening comments like that. I think it might have had my children around it. They would have made that comment to the kids. I probably would have killed them. I probably would. I really would. No doubt about it, right? Back to the army days. It wouldn't have been fun, but when they talk like that about your kids, I think it's where I draw the line. But like personally, what, forget it, put it away, let the cops deal with it, move on. But yes, I would have loved to have you there. Love to have you there. As France says, big muscles, little brain. That's who I had in front of me. Two cars of those guys. Here's what's interesting. If you read what Dara Khosrowshahi said, as soon as possible. What does that mean, as soon as possible, in Dara Khosrowshahi's world? Right? I think they will do as soon as possible what suits them. Right? So maybe they do this immediately, within weeks. Maybe they do this in January. I'm not sure. The last 14 months in California have been the most critical point on this issue, said Bradley Tusk, a venture capitalist who advised Uber on political issues during its early years. Emboldened by the election, Uber and other gig economy players are likely to pursue federal legislation to enshrine gig work in the nation's labor laws. Here we go. Here we go now. Here we go. Right? Mighty Heidi is happy. She's happy. She goes, whoop, whoop. Prop 22 won. I'll be honest, I'm not that happy, but I'm happy for the people that are happy. I really am. Listen, you fought well. You fought hard with the help of 200 million, with drivers. You got 58%. That's a victory. That is a victory for you, right? We lost, right? I lost with my no on 22. I'll own that. I own that. But I say to drivers, bring me those earnings. Bring me those California earnings. Bring me those screenshots, X, XL, SUV, black, comfort, whatever you want to. Bring me your Lyft screenshots the moment these guys, as Dara Khosrowshahi said there, as soon as possible. They're going to try and kick that into effect. Ivan T says, mighty why? He's like, why? He's like questioning, why are you happy? Well, you can explain yourself. Heidi is here. Robin says hi. Good to have Robin here. Well, we shall see. Ivan says Mighty loves getting his pay and tips stolen. You don't know that. I'm sure nobody steals Mighty Heidi's tips. But the pay factor, we have to find out. We have to find out. I pray for Californians that the multiplier stays. From what I've heard, it's gone. There's no reason for Uber to keep the multiplier. They did that to counter AB5. They don't have to obey AB5 anymore. So I think the multiplier alienates a lot of their riders. Correct me if I'm wrong. People that are demanding 3x, 5x, I think that just pisses the rider off. Good for the driver because he deserves those rates, right? You call the shots. And Scott Tucker says still 11 more rounds to go on this rideshare fight. If it's a 12-round fight, if it's a 15-round fight, there's even more. Still a long way to go. I am just curious. I got to quickly, can anybody give me any updates? I think that's where we're still stuck there. Trying to see Arizona. Let's see. Wisconsin, yes. Wisconsin called it. Nevada has not called it yet. Very, very close. Michigan called it. Maine called it. Georgia is getting extremely close with 94% reporting. Trump holds the lead in Georgia. Pennsylvania, lots and lots of ballots still need to be counted in Pennsylvania. The margin is closing, but Trump still holds an edge there. And the question is, who has better paths to 270? No, not true. Whoever wins Pennsylvania wins. Yeah, if you win Pennsylvania, Biden doesn't have to win Pennsylvania, by the way. Biden does not have to win Pennsylvania to get to 270. Yeah. So, Mohammed, thank you for that update. Says Biden still leading in Arizona and Nevada, still 550,000 votes still waiting to be counted in Arizona. It depends where they come in. Do they come in from Tucson? Are those votes coming in from Phoenix? And when you're looking at Nevada, those coming in from Nevada, like from Las Vegas in the biggest city, or those outside rural areas, all depends where the votes come in from. That'll swing it one way or the other. Arizona, Biden currently leads 51% to 47%, and 86% has reported. So it truly depends on those other 14% that haven't been counted yet. Let's see. Yeah, if Biden wins Nevada, he's still short on 270, but there's still other races. There's still, let's see if you write there. If Biden wins Nevada, he's still short 270. That is a true statement, but there's different races going on, right? Because if Biden wins Nevada and Arizona, he's won, right? He's won. And then I'm sure the Trump campaign will want to do some recounts. Did you use a cell phone signal booster? I didn't, no. Sorry. Well, Arizona, no, Arizona went to Biden on the Fox News and Associated Press. Look, Arizona has not gone to Biden on CNN and MSNBC. They're not calling it yet. But so that being said, how many points is Arizona? Arizona is 11 electoral votes. And so Biden should be on what do you have as total? This is the suspense is killing. This is 253, I think, without Arizona. Correct me if I'm wrong, please. I think if you factor Arizona in, he's on 264, very close. Then he would just need one state, like Nevada. And then he's right, he's won. So this here doesn't factor in Arizona or Nevada. Correct me if I'm wrong, please. I don't want to say anything wrong. Okay, 248 with Arizona, but I don't think, are you wicked hustler? Are you counting in Michigan? They called Michigan. I think they called Michigan in, again, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they called Michigan in Biden's favor. Yes, they did. So I think if you're saying 248, I don't think you're factoring in Michigan with its 16 electoral votes. So if my math is right, please correct me if I'm wrong. If you factor in Arizona and Michigan, he should be at 264. Very close. Not there yet, but close. Robin says, I doubt it, Rosita. Just because Prop 22 passed does not change the employment law already in place. The real fight is now beginning. Stay tuned. Contact. Yeah. So if you filed your lawsuits, which I encouraged people to do for your misclassification dollars, those were misclassification dollars you were seeking under the law before Proposition 22 passed. You can't come now and say, okay, hey, January 2021, I believe, Robin, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe in January you could file a lawsuit for everything before November the 3rd, 2020, right? But you wouldn't be able to file a lawsuit mid-2021 and try and claim January and February and March 2021 would not be possible. And the reason why I ask Robin, I know that she has a great legal mind. You have a legal background, don't you? Yes, Mohammed. Fox has Biden winning Arizona. Associated Press, AP, also a very reliable source. I don't know about Fox. I don't watch Fox, but Associated Press has called Arizona in Biden's favor. CNN will shortly, they say. And then, all eyes on Nevada, all eyes on Georgia, all eyes on Pennsylvania. Yeah, she does. She has a real good legal mind. I like that. Robin is a very, very smart cookie. I can tell you that. I read her. I know she's not always happy that I just give her one-line responses because I'm dealing with so many texts and emails, but I read all of Robin's messages, all of them. And she argues with a brilliant mind. She really puts her stuff together and her thoughts, all the process together very, very clearly. And she's a great writer. I read, it's not that I can always write an elaborate response to something like it. I usually catch up with Robin here in a live stream. So I want to get through this New York Times ad. The passage of Prop 22 is a bitter loss for state and local officials who have long seen the ride-hailing companies as obstinate upstarts that shrugged off any effort to make them follow the rules. Many local officials believe California was too gentle for too long when it came to regulating Uber and Lyft, and naive about how powerful and influential the companies would quickly become. Very, very, very good statement. Why did California leave this all so late before the election? Why didn't they start this years ago, right? For all too long, Uber and Lyft banked on the timidity of public officials throughout the country, said Dennis Herrera, the city attorney of San Francisco. They said, we're not going to ask permission. We'll sort of ask for forgiveness after the fact once the horse has left the barn. Mr. Herrera has sued Uber and Lyft in an attempt to force them to employ their drivers, and the litigation continues. Uber and Lyft started in early 2010s with just a handful of drivers, resembling carpool services more than professional fleets. While Uber initially tried to mimic black car service, it quickly joined Lyft in promoting the idea that drivers were drawn to the apps by the novelty of gig worker rather than the promise of traditional employment. Transit officials and taxi companies warned that the drivers lacked professional certification and were not subjected to background checks. Uber and Lyft argued that they were primarily technology companies, not transportation companies. Come on, man. And should not be forced into the burdensome requirements of licensing, safety checks, and employment. The California Public Utilities Commission stepped in, setting baseline safety requirements, but allowing Uber and Lyft to avoid hiring drivers. Still, the employment issue persisted. By 2015, The State Labor Commissioner ruled that drivers were integral to Uber's business model, but the ruling allowed just one driver to be classified as an employee. Shout out to Canadian Sabina Sacramento. Hi, sending our love up to Sacramento. Hope you're doing well. I hope you're safe. Slick Nick is in the house. Yeah, representing. Good to see you, Slick Nick. Rosita Salim is in the house. I certainly hope so. Thank you. Been stressing about this. Mahanaim Batal says this should have never been on voting system. People that vote yes on this, they don't even drive. Abstract Echo says UI, unemployment, I guess that means. Cool. I like it. I like the friendships and the conversations that are taking place in the room. That always makes me happy how people, like in these live rooms, respect each other and communicate nicely with one another, right? Once in a while, we have a troll. Once in a while, we have an arsehole. Once in a while, I have to get the toilet out and flush people. But generally speaking, people get along. People are people, so why should it be you and I together? Slick Nick says, I'm so pissed 22 passed, but the fight isn't over. Let's hope the legislator overturns it 7-8. I think that's going to be a tough thing to turn that over 7-8. I'm upset, but listen, when you look at the numbers, here, they won that convincingly. I'm looking at all the assemblies, the seats. This is California, by the way. There's the Senate seats, all the Senate seats. There's the Congress district seats. And then should come the ballots. Where are the ballots? There they are. There she is, Proposition 22. What do you say, Proposition 22? 58.4%. That's a hell of a big number. You win. Yes, they did. Yes on 22 passes. A sad day for some, beautiful day for others, but your pay will determine. Your pay, which is coming up soon, weeks or maybe 1 or 2 months when they change it, change the algorithms, change the app again because they've won. I hope people are going to be making money. I genuinely hope people are going to be making money. Boy, money can buy you love. Money can buy you votes. Money isn't funny in Dara's world. Money isn't funny in Logan's world. All the things they can do with the 200 million. They buy the votes. Goodbye, multiplier. Respect from Jacksonville, Florida. Shout out. Thank you, Stormy 1992. Hope you're doing well over there. Hope you're staying safe. Boy, $200 billion. Imagine what you can do with $200 million. $200 million buys you a lot of love, my friends. Buys you a lot of love. Still, the employment issue persisted. By 2015, the State Labor Commissioner ruled that drivers were integral to Uber's business model, but the ruling allowed just one driver to be classified as an employee. Still, 3 years later, the California Supreme Court made a sweeping and unanimous ruling in the case known as Dynamex. The ruling prompted concern among gig economy companies, but they did not move to reclassify their workers. Lawmakers saw an opportunity to regulate a defiant industry. The problem is this: Uber and Lyft have neglected not just labor laws, but every law in the book, said Lorena Gonzalez, the California Assembly member who drafted the state's new labor law. The only reason we were able to get AB5 is because of Dynamex. The Supreme Court created such a stark, clear rule. It freaked out business as much as it encouraged labor. Chris B is in the house. How are you? Mighty Heidi says, I know we will likely lose the fare multiplier, but I'm hopeful. Plus, if the pay goes to shit, drivers just need to stop driving. We have more power as a large group if we work together. I mean, you have to find another fight. More protesting, more rallying. Absolute Echo. Right, Scott Tucker, buy multiplier, buy destination and potential earnings, and hello to more penalties for declining, cancelling trips. I think Jimmy summed it up very well for the yes on 22 voters. The multiplier is still on the app right now, correct. But remember, I want to, Slick Nick, I want to quote Dara. Uber's chief executive, Dara Khosrowshahi, thanked drivers for the win in a late night email. The future of independent work is more secure because so many drivers like you spoke up, he wrote. He said Uber would make the new benefits promised by Proposition 22 available as soon as possible. So I think you're going to see those changes as soon as possible. The problem is this. We already said that. Under the new law, Uber and Lyft drivers were employees, but nothing changed. The companies continue to treat them as independent contractors and vow to take their fight to the ballot. In May, Mr. Herrera, joined by State Attorney General and the city attorneys of Los Angeles, San Diego, sued Uber and Lyft in an effort to enforce the laws. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Now we're looking ahead and across the country, ready to champion new benefits structures that are portable, proportional, and flexible, said Tony Zhu, Chief Executive of DoorDash, in a statement. We look forward to partnering with workers, policymakers, community groups, and more to make this a reality. So that's the agenda that they're pushing now. So you guys in Florida, Nevada, you got this battle coming your ways, my friend. Oh yeah, phone says so it can be stopped. AB, there's no such thing as AB 22. There's Prop 22, but Prop 22 stopped AB 5. Can Prop 22 be stopped? Yes, with a 7 out of 8 ruling if they go to the California Supreme Court. It's going to be tough. Doing well, Chris, thank you. Rideshare Trickster is in the house. Hey, Professor, hope all is well with you and yours. Yes. Was up all night listening to these polls. I'm sort of like still stuck here. This is at least what CNN's reporting. Others are reporting a little differently. Let me see what other channels are reporting. I'm jumping around different channels. This is what's on Fox. They have it as 264 to 214. Obviously, 4 states still unknown, still to go. 4 states are going to decide the presidency. If I go to CNN, they have a completely different number. They have 253 to 213, which tells me they may have not counted in Arizona with 11 points, I think. Yeah, Sandra, that was fun, you know, but you guys got to know my personality. I've shared my personality. I'm telling you, if you're a little kid at a very young age and you get put into a rugby team, and if I could have changed things, I wouldn't have played rugby. But as a youngster, you know, from the age of 9 or 10, you're playing rugby. It's a very aggressive sport. You like to fight, you like to brawl, you know, you hang out with boxers, you're in the boxing gym, you're training, you know, you have a lot of street fights, you're in the club, you're fighting. I can't tell you the amount of times broke bottles, fighting with broken bottles, or guns or knives. I think I didn't have the normal upbringing, but I'm a street kid by nature. And it all fairly much disappeared when I came to the United States. I changed a lot. You get a family, you have kids, you change. But it takes an arsehole to bring out the beast in you. It really does. And that guy yesterday triggered me because he had no right to brandish a knife, or you want to call it, a dagger, this just over a foot, black in color, and stick it out, come out of the window and swipe at me. Not trying to get me. I don't think he was trying to get me. But that's why I draw the line. That's where, the bull sees the red flag. That's it. That's when I just switch off. And I'm sort of glad that police arrived. I had no idea how it would have ended. So it's not worth it. I have kids, and I got to stop and say, stop. Let the cops handle it. Don't do stupid things, Torsten. I know the guy's trying to injure you, but don't injure them. And I mean, I'm on crutches. I think that's what surprised these people the most, is that I'm willing to get out there and mix it up with them, and I'm on crutches. And the guy was taunting me with a knife. He said, hey, cripple. And I'm like, if you think I'm crippled, get out the car. So if I can bring your knife, get out the car. Would not get out the car. Minutes later, the cops arrived. These guys got the number plates, got the police reports in. They have to handle that. Daddy Kunit moves on, right? Got kids. So we can just allow them to control what the future of work looks like. Ms. Gonzalez said somebody has to stand up for the future of workers. I am super curious how the app is going to look, the new app with this yes on 22. And California is just as other states. You guys have seen you've seen the driver app change over the years. They give you the surge, they take the surges away, flat surge, they add comfort. I mean, the apps completely change. Month after month, the apps change, right? When AB5 came out, Uber changed the app with this fare multiplier. And I want other states to know this, other cities to know this, and they tested it at 3 or 4 airports, the multiplier, and it seemed to work. And then they switched it on California-wide, this multiplier. And some people played it safe, 1x, not going to increase the rate. Some people went slightly higher, 1.2x. You're going to get riders all day long at 1.2 and 1.5x. But just imagine what 1.2, it means that you're making 20% more than your average. 1.5 means you're making 50% more, right? 2x means you're making double what you're usually making. 5x means you're making 5 times. And they are drivers that I know. I've done videos on this every single day. Right today, as we speak, all they do is they sit there and they wait. They do not deviate. They do not move away from 5x or 3.5x or 4x. And they make really, really high numbers, and they're not putting on many miles because the miles that they drive are paying extremely well. Now, that to me is double standards, because obviously everyone should be enjoying that. And I am repeating myself like a parrot because I've said it many a times. But Uber now has the power to take the multiplier away. They only brought out the multiplier because of AB5. Yeah, I mean, I honestly think, Scott, firstly, I know how to fight. I fight well. And you know, multiple people at the same time, don't worry about that. But the crutch to me, the way I saw it, because like I said, you know, at that moment, when the guy brandishes a knife, I see this as a weapon. Right there, this is not a weapon. So all I did is, and the guy got a fright. I pulled the rubber off, standing there. Now come, buddy. This thing here, that's a spear. It's waiting. I think the guy knew that I'm a little bit psycho and crazy the moment I pulled that rubber off. I think he thought, fuck, this guy will ram this through my belly. Damn right. That thing will go straight through your stomach, brother. So that, I think, freaked the guy out. And I mean, the guy is 30 years old. I'm 50. He would not get out the car. But again, thank God nothing happened. Policia, not the LAPD. It's not their jurisdiction. It was a different jurisdiction here. And nothing happened. Isaac Rico's in the house. Uber has already sent me an email stating that the benefits could be implemented as soon as today. I've been running at 3.5x, average 180 a night. That's fantastic. That's great. So you're working at nighttime, you're pulling 180 on average. That's amazing. And I know Rideshare Trickster's tips are high, because the riders, if you guys seen his car, you guys see how spick and span, how clean, the lighting, the sound. I mean, he's giving them 6-star service, right? So I know his tips are always high. So on top of that 180 average on the 3.5x each night, right? You're driving less miles, you're making more per mile. They've already notified you that the changes are coming. The question is, should I stay or should I go? My name is Mr. Multiplier. Should I stay or should I go now? Right, Mr. Multiplier. Should I stay or should I go now? I hope you stay. I hope you stay, Mr. Multiplier. You've been good to us. I'm watching the race, guys. I'm watching the race. I'm switching around between, wow, I'm like on 3 different channels. The one channel here has it at 248, 214. I hop onto another channel, CNN, has it on thank you, Liam, 253 to 213. I'll hop over to Fox. Fox has it at 264 for Biden, 214 for Trump. 3 different results, 3 different electoral numbers on 3 different channels, right? That is crazy. I've never ever seen that. Usually, don't they go with each other as MSNBC, CNN, Fox, or Associated Press goes, so goes the other, so goes the other. I have just shown you, given you proof of 3 different results, the way 3 different stations are broadcasting this. By the way, please, if you have not taken my survey, I ask you kindly. There it is. And my strategy with that survey, I'll be very transparent. The strategy is about Uber customer service, which I think is pathetic, which is poor on every level, from the 1-800 number to the autoresponder emails to the in-app customer service to the hub. So what I'm doing is a survey about customer service and safety, and then I'm going to be spending money, probably $350, and I'm going to put out a press release which gets circulated with all the press through Cision. If you ever, guys, Scott Tucker, if you ever really want to do a great press release and get your new company out there, Cision is the best. And then that'll put a lot of pressure. If I've put press releases out there, been on Yahoo Finance, on MarketWatch, put them out there. You've seen my name out there. Now, if I do a press release on their safety, on a survey, Harry hasn't even done this, right? I mean, Harry's got the numbers. Harry gets 600-700 people to participate in surveys. I just need 100, because I feel that if 100 people tell me that Uber customer service is fantastic or it is poor, pathetic, I can put the word out there into the universe, into the online blog world, into the online newspaper world, And then Uber's not going to like that. And they're like, who wrote this damn press release? Who wrote this? Who did this survey? I did. And the reason I did is so that you pull up your socks, so you get your act together, right? So you understand what drivers think of the customer service and the safety. Sherelle says, I took the survey yesterday. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Sherelle. Was it easy? Very easy, right? You don't have to put a name in. Rideshare Tricks, I don't know if you took the survey, would greatly appreciate it. Just take the Uber survey there. Mohammed Khalil, I did not retract your message. That was Yahoo. Hey, we got 41 likes. Thank you so much. That's very nice. We're on 1 hour, 40 minutes. I didn't realize that we're going this long. But yes, on 22, congratulations. Congratulations, yes, on 22. There you are. And you got a whopping 58.4%. Had anybody asked me to take a bet, I would have said 51% at the most. I would have lost that bet. Oh, how about the Department of Labor claims? Those are legit because they count prior Proposition 22. Those are legit. But the Department of Labor claims can take up to 2 years. Up to 2 years, no jokes. That's the only reason why I did not go with the Department of Labor claims, because I would rather get some heavy hitter attorneys involved. You part with about 40% of your money. Okay, if you're going in and you put in a $1.1 million lawsuit like I did, doesn't mean you're going to get the full amount. I have no problem paying a law firm 40% of those monies for doing over a year's work. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. Filing the motions, the interrogatories, the request for information, setting up depositions. It's a lot of work. If you win it for me, you deserve that 40%. Sorry, that's just how I think. Olive, on noisy TV in the house. I like it. What is the TV part? Do you have like a channel? Do you do products? Tell us a little about yourself. Olive, you're welcome here. Nice to see you. Wicked Hustle Guy says, me too. When it came in at 62 with 11%, I was like, what the heck? No, all of that counts, Rosita, all of that. Whether you filed a misclassification lawsuit, whether you went through a class action lawsuit, whether you went through Potter Handy, whether you went through Licht and Riordan, whether you went through Department of Labor claims, whether you went through the Rideshare United channel and filed it through them, you're in good standing. All that you need to understand is that the law, it moves like a glacier in the court system, right? Like a slow iceberg. Nothing is quick because they buy time, fight, buy time. It moves extremely slowly, especially during the pandemic, because the courts and the arbitration cases are so backed up, right? It's not like thousands of people can go into the courthouse and case. No, it's a selected few hearings, next day a few more hearings. It's not like a washing machine. It's not like small claims case after small claims, like a washing machine where they can put hundreds of cases through a day. No, it's a handful of cases. So what happens is the court system is backed up. Everything from divorces, family case law, entertainment law, everything is backed up, right? People are waiting. Oh my God, my next hearing might be in whatever, February 2021. It is so backed up, my friends. Mohammed Khalil, can Congress hold hearings to force Uber and Lyft to let drivers keep the multiplier if drivers are true independent contractors? And my guess is that, California could fight that issue in a higher court, maybe California Supreme Court, the highest court in California. Depends, right? Depends. But it's really, really hard to bring a case against Uber and Lyft now, if you think of doing it now, right? Because you're trying to get misclassification dollars. If you'd filed your case in the past, you're in good standing, you're fine. Auto accident claims, do you have any knowledge of? I'm sure auto accident claims. My one little auto accident where somebody drove into the back of me, man, it was handled quickly. They handled it very efficiently. And I wasn't in the wrong. The other company paid out very, very quickly. So I don't know. Maybe it depends who you're with. Update CNN. Yeah, I mean, I've showed you CNN. I've showed you a couple of. I've been hopping around. You know, this is, by the way, this is a channel that I don't frequent, but I wanted to go there and see. I always go and see what they report. Fox is reporting 264 to 214. Right, the one that I go to most of the time, reporting 253 to 213. That's the one that Slick Nick is reporting on. And then I have another completely different one, which I want to share with you, which is 248 to 2. I've literally showed you 3 different numbers on 3 different broadcasting stations or websites, whatever you want, or news channels. All have different numbers to report. It's pretty bizarre. Robin Spearman, thank you, thank you, thank you. Rockstar, appreciate you, buddy. Another set of data, and you see, you don't have to put in your name, so you remain anonymous. I'm just interested in how do 100 drivers, potentially more, how do a minimum of 100 drivers think about Uber's customer service? Obviously, I'm going to participate in my own survey as well. I didn't give them high rating. You can see you could rate them from poor or very poor to excellent. I think customer service with Uber sucks. Try and get something resolved. If you don't go there and knock on the door of the hub and you tell them, listen, you guys owe me money. You didn't pay me for this trip. You didn't do this. You got to literally spend and waste your time at a hub. Semi-confrontational. You don't want to get too aggressive, right? Because otherwise they'll cut you off. But like, hey, you guys owe me this money. Pay up. Why do we have to chase? If they cut you off, if they deactivate you, you know how many people, firstly, you know how the stress levels, I mean, anybody that's been deactivated, stress levels go through the roof like this. And then you fight to get back in there. They cut you off because of a wrongful complaint, or whatever the case is, and now you got to go and spend all that time. Right, so I'm saying, you well off with these guys if you're on Cova at $7 a month, right? Deactivated, contact them, say, hey, Uber deactivated me, Lyft deactivated me, Grubhub wrongfully deactivated me. Okay, put in your claim. Who do we send it over? We send it over to Legal Rideshare. What do? Well, they handle deactivation. They are the partner of Cova. So go down there. Cova writes Legal Rideshare writes the letters for its members demanding that the gig companies promptly reactivate. Hey, reinstate my client. You wrongfully terminated them. End of story. To every driver out there that was at the ballot box yesterday, or sent in your ballot, or did a mail-in ballot and voted yes on 22, congratulations. Big victory for you guys. Huge, huge victory for Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, Instacart. Obviously, money can buy you a lot of love. $200 million buys you a lot of love out there. So they bought the love of the Californians with $200 million, right? I want to say to all of those people, and it's just specifically drivers, because this is what my channel is about, I hope when Uber makes the changes that you are happy. I hope you are happy with the changes. I hope you will be happy with the earnings and the pay, because that is what drivers look at this. Don't tell me otherwise, right? If I had said, what's your priority? Flexibility, independence, freedom, or money? No, show me the money, right? Show me the money, and then I want the flexibility and the freedom. But I'll tell you, drivers will take money and earnings over the other two all day long. What do I make here? What can I make? Olive says, why is it you have in mind in the next 2 years you will be great and you end up finding yourself nothing? Why? I don't understand your question. You're going to have to explain your question. I'm trying to understand your question. I'll answer it, but elaborate. And this leg is hurting. Ay, ay, ay. Wicked Hustle Guy says, you're way too kind. I hope they get what they deserve. Listen. Like when you say, I hope they get what they deserve, if it's Uber's intentions to pay worse rates and pay less than ever before, I think they will get what they deserve, because you know what? Drivers will leave them. Drivers don't work for peanuts. Steve Donald says, I didn't see one no on proposition. I saw several no on 22 advertisements. I saw several, but nothing as close as yes on 22. Rick Nelson says, y'all, sorry, I can't call you out by individual names as I'm driving right now, but you all know who you are. We know you, Rick. You're always welcome here. You're a great guy. Rideshare Trixer says, you rock, Echo. Slicknick, is it normal for COVID to have us on a wait list when we sign up? The strange thing is, I've asked them 4 or 5 times that particular question. Why do you have people on a wait list? Only a select few people they have on a wait list. The majority of the people are green lighted right away. It's about 2 out of 10 they put on a wait list. Why are they putting people on a wait list? Right? That's the part I don't get. Robin says, hey, I just took the survey. One thing to note in Nevada, even though we can cancel 3 minutes after arrival, the app doesn't let us arrive sometimes and also won't start the clock ticking. Well, that's rather misleading, right? Interesting. Did not know that. And I wonder if that's just for Nevada, or do we see that in other cities as well, other states? Gotta run, says Trickster. Love back to you, my brother. Stay safe. Take care of the wife. Be safe out there in Lancaster land. Hope to bump into you again. Maybe we go to Wahoo's in Marina del Rey, where we met the first time after the pandemic. All in, my friend. Be safe out there. Alrighty, folks, we're on 1 hour 53. I'm going to go another 5 or 6 minutes, make it a solid 2 hours. Really, really appreciate the fact that at 47 likes, that's wonderful. Maybe the likes reflect people like, wow, we got a yes on 22. That's fantastic. Maybe the like is not for the content that I'm sharing. Maybe it's just like, wow, that is really good news. Yes on 22. Hit the like button, right? But hey, whichever, if you're enjoying the show, if you're enjoying the people, your friends that you're talking to, thumbs up. If you are happy with yes on 22, thumbs up. If you're upset that no on 22 didn't pass, just give the video a thumbs up, right? Because we have to acknowledge they won the fight fair and square with 58%. There's no denying that, ladies and gentlemen. The numbers are right here. The numbers don't lie. Right, there are all the Assembly, the Senate results. This is obviously, I'm just looking at California. If you want to go there, I'll leave the website there for you, matters.org if the Californians want to see how all the Congress races, Senate races, ballot races, there it is. And the one that I'm looking at down there, Proposition 22, I go over here, 58.4%. Damn, it's like 7% more. 7% more than I thought. Absolute Echo says, take care, RT, my brother. Rideshare Trixer says, congrats, AE. I like it. I love the abbreviations. Ooh, what happened here? This just took a big jump. Damn, that's close. Let's see. Jump to another station. Nope. CNN is rather careful. So two stations have it at 264 Biden, 214 Trump. This one, CNN, has it at 253 Biden. So it literally needs 6 more electoral votes. Of course, knowing Mr. Trump, he's not going to say, hey, congratulations, Joe Biden, the new president. No, he's going to say, what the hell? I've just been robbed. Frickin' took away my presidency. Her, her, her. It's going to get nasty. It's going to get ugly out there. But the voting process yesterday was very peaceful. It's great. No voter intimidation. Went all across the United States. It looked like voting was peaceful. People were not intimidated at the polls. People could line up. Many people voted prior to November the 3rd, get that out of the way. So I'm just curious, when the total number of votes are in, the total, what are we looking at? 100, how much? 100, what do you think? 160 million? 170 million? Are we going to set a new record? Timothy says fake news is not so fake. Yep, that's true. Not fake news, real news. Tune in to the Real News channel. This is what the electoral vote is right now. Nevada will announce tomorrow results at noon according. Oh, good. Thank you. Thank you for saying that, because I probably would have stayed up all night waiting for Nevada. Come on, Nevada. I was up late last night. I was in bed just scrolling, reading, jumping around, channel hopping. There's something they know, these guys don't know. And I mean, like, nothing really shifted. Nothing shifted until about 10 a.m. this morning. Stuff started moving. Yep, I agree. If you do not watch the news, you're uninformed. If you do watch the news, you're misinformed. Interesting. No, look, I like news from multiple channels throughout the United States, and then I also really very, very interested in international news. I really am. I really love international news and politics. How do they see us? How do we see them? What are they up to? What are we up to? What does the Chicago Tribune say? What does the Washington Post say? What does the New York Times say? What does the La Opinion say? What does the San Diego Tribune say? What does the San Francisco Chronicle say? What does the LA Times say? Jump around. Get a big picture, right? What does Fox News say? What does CNN say? What does MSNBC say? What does CNBC say? La, 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 la. They all have their 25 cents. Robin says, I spoke to 5 Uber support techs in 3 hours. Holy mackerel. 5th guy finally got me on the app. However, Uber had my offline drive time ticking down as if it was intentional to not allow me to accept till the next day. Ain't that interesting? That's interesting. California set a new record. It was like 14 million votes. I think California has 39 million citizens. 39. Of those 39, are you telling me that 14 million, that's a lot? More than 1/3 voted. Mohammed says, anyone know what is the music tune when on hold? Oh, that music tune is annoying. It's annoying. It drives me crazy. Drives me crazy. I don't. You wait. You're waiting, you're waiting, you're waiting, and you're waiting, and that music's just playing. Robin says that completely blows Uber's argument for our flexibility out of the water, not an independent contractor in Nevada. So come on, Dara. Come on, Dara. Don't keep on treating us like fools. Really? I love Dark Road Run's channel. I mean, he makes all these funny comedy videos and little memes. Man, Dara must hate that shit, because Dark Road Run really makes Dara look like a total idiot on film. And Dark Road Run is good at that, man. He makes Travis and Dara look like silly fools. Abstract Echo says, Dara douchebag is a schmuck. I'm Abstract Echo, and I approve this message. I approve your message. World Database is in the house. You're still doing good numbers? Man, I believe your Halloween numbers were off the charts, right? You did $1,000 on Halloween, what, am I correct? You did $1,000 on Halloween Day? Killing it. We shall see with a multiplier. Mr. Multiplier, should I stay or should I go? Crazy hours, I love it. I put crazy hours. Listen, Multiplier, is Mr. Multiplier going to stay, or is Mr. Multiplier going to go? Let's do a vote. I say Mr. Multiplier will go. Who says will stay? Fishing. I say by January, Mr. Multiplier will go. Who says by January, Mr. Multiplier will stay? My leg. Fishing takes patience. Yeah, you gotta fish. You gotta fish, and you gotta get that fish on the line, and then you hook them, and then you reel them in. You gotta hook that fish. Fishing takes patience. Gotta use that 5x hook. 3.5x hook. Takes patience. Alrighty, made it to the 2-hour mark. How beautiful. How beautiful. 123 minutes. 123 minutes standing. That's good. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you all. If we're on 49, if somebody can squeeze out number 50, por favor, please, s'il vous plaît, bitte, dankeschön. Hit number 50. Can anybody offer that number 50? Smakovich, there it is. Thank you. Whoever just smacked that like button, who is number 50? Dan's in the house. Better late than never. Good. We had a lot of fun. We're talking, obviously, a lot of after election talk. We've been hopping around looking at the electoral numbers. We've been congratulation Uber Schmuber on their 58% victory. They won big time, right? And now we wait. Now the waiting begins. When will they? Dijuan Marquez says, there you go, bro. Good to see you. So the question is, when will the app switch over and reflect all those new rates? Then my next question is, will database, gave it number 50, thank you. Will the multiplier stay or will it go? My guess is by January, we will know whether we're going to make money in California or whether we're not going to make money in California, and whether Uber and Lyft and those companies will bring the battle, the same type of fight, because now they feel empowered. Will they come to a state near you? Will database puts money on, it will stay. I said it will go. Any Cali drivers there want to bet on the multiplier? Will it stay or will it go? I got one stay, I got one go. Wicked Hustle Guy says it's gone. I'll give you 221. Scott Tucker, I mean, I know you're not in California. What do you think? Last multiplier's gone. Terrell says multiplier's gone. That's not official yet, but I agree with you. Terrell, if you haven't taken my survey, please, it takes 3 minutes. Anybody that hasn't taken the survey, boom, there it is. Boom, there it is. Can't go wrong. Quick survey. It's the same survey. It's about Uber's customer service, and then I'm going to make a press release. I will issue a press release on the results, and I will get under Dara's skin one more time. I don't think people are going to report favorably on that customer service and safety. Daniel Villanova says they should keep it. That's a win-win. So you think that's going to stay. So the vote right now, we got 2, it will stay. 2 people say it will go. Pretty much balanced. Votes right now on multiplier 2 say it will stay. 2 people say it's gone. Three say it will go. 2 say it will stay. You already, World Data, we already factored your vote in there. Can't get a double vote. Can't get 2 votes, World Database. Stay. Go, stay, 3-3. Mohammed says it'll stay because Uber needs the money, 4-3. Good point. Good argument, Mohammed. I think that's a very valid argument. So we've got 4, it will stay, 3, it will go. I hope it stays. I hope it stays. I hope the neighboring states get it. They deserve it. Thank you, everyone. I got to rock and roll. My leg is killing me right now. It's sore. I got to get my leg up and I got to get my tablets. Scott Lampros says it will go. I got 4 people say it'll stay. 4 people say it'll go. Interesting, right? It's how people are voting in this room. 4 say it'll stay. 4 say it'll go. Should I stay or should I go now? I need to go. God bless you guys all. Appreciate you. Thanks for the great feedback. Thanks for another lively show. Keeping it funny, good humor there, good input. And again, to all of those who voted yes on Proposition 22, I congratulate you. You won it fair and square. 58%. Money can buy you love. Money can buy you love. Love you back, man. Love you guys back. Please be safe out there. Insist that the people get into your car, wear a mask. If they're not wearing a mask, sell them a mask for $5 or $10. Hey, dude, you need a mask. I don't have a mask. Oh, I've got one here, $5. You want it? Cash. Cash, baby. Show me the money. That's it. All right, my friends, my amigos, meine Freunde. Thank you. Dankeschön. Merci. Obrigado. Spasiba. Gracias. Thank you.